Greece to transfer 32 decommissioned F-16s to Ukraine.
Here's a summary of the article.
According to diplomatic sources, Greece is preparing to significantly boost its military support for Ukraine. The incident has further galvanized Greek support for Ukraine. Greece has consistently supported Ukraine since the war's onset. Days after the invasion began, the country sent 2 C-130 planeloads of military equipment to Ukraine. During these 2 years of Russian war against Ukraine, Greece has supplied Ukraine with artillery shells, Stinger missiles, and armored personnel carriers. A diplomatic source told Al Jazeera, "In theory, we could offer anti-aircraft guns and S-300 air defense systems." The same source indicated that Greece and Ukraine are currently negotiating a 10-year assistance agreement. A little bit goes a long way. For as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can help build bridges between Ukraine and the rest of the world, plus become a co-creator and vote for topics we should cover next.
This post received a score of 3,500, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Oh, that's based on conjecture. Greece is looking to sell its old C-30 Block F-16s and Mirage 2005s. It's not transferring anything to Ukraine. If the buyer wants to get them and transfer them to Ukraine, wink wink, that's another issue. Also, all of them are in working order.
Title got my hopes up too. 32 decommissioned F-16s still have more combat potential than one femboy and a Soviet-era tin can. 32 decommissioned F-16s still have more combat potential than 0 decommissioned F-16s.
You always say, maybe, and never trust rumors and promises. There were many of them, but the reality is completely different.
You mean the US is buying them and having them delivered to Ukraine?
I am very curious about what the impact of the F-16 will be on the battlefield. Cannot hardly wait to see Russia getting kicked and lose much more equipment.
I believe that the correct variant of F-16 will allow munitions that have data link to be added to the Ukrainian arsenal. I further believe that a NATO AWAC, using data link, could send info to the F-16 which could then send it on to the missile. I also believe that Ukraine just got 2 AWACS from someone, which if they have data link along with the F-16 then that will best case for Ukraine since they won't have to rely on NATO help, since NATO might not even be willing to give that sort of help. This would allow Ukraine F-16s to reach much further out than with the F-16 radar alone, which would allow it to go toe-to-toe with anything Russia has in the sky.
I think the larger issue for the Vipers on strike missions is going to be Russia's insane amount of AA. I think only the 120 Delta has the two-way data link, and Wiki says those about $1 million a pop, so how many of those they are getting is more my worry. It seems more likely we would give them older stuff. That kinda seems like what we've been doing up to this point.
I think the AW won't be too much of a problem for long. My theory is that these first Ukrainian F-16 pilots have been training for Wild Weasel missions and that's why there are so few of them in training. We have already given them some anti-radar missiles and I believe they have crafted a way to use them with their Soviet planes. I would bet the older gen Russia AW can be jammed fully these days. Ukraine just has to figure out how to do it unless someone in NATO tells them.
It seems unlikely that Ukraine would put their very limited Viper capability directly into arguably the highest risk mission set. I don't think the sanctions are going to be a problem. They have no AESA radar, can't hang any modern pods, and I think the most recent weapon they can hang is the Slammer. That's assuming they actually bought the upgrade tapes. I don't know if they did, all I know is they were available to the European countries that bought the jets.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.